Folks, welcome to Werewolf Radar, the world's premier paranormal preparedness podcast. My name's Jordan Dahl.
I am Nate Balding.
I am Roger Norquist.
Today's episode of Werewolf Radar is brought to you by Monstroco brand Goat Refiller. Have you had a visit from the Chupacabra? The Monstroco Goat Refiller will have your Billy or Jenny upright and goating about in no time. Comes with 3 cans of goat fillings. The Goat Refiller by Monstroco. What the fuck?
That's awesome. I can see some benefits for it. Say I got a hungry chupacabra that's going through goats and I'm too tired of filling it up.
Sure. Or say that you've got a goat show and like the night before, oh no, what's this? The chupacabra has come through. Old thirsty chupa and had a little midnight rumble.
Time to refill that goat.
Time to refill that goat.
Is a lady goat called a Jenny?
Yeah.
No, I did not know.
Yeah. I think so. Let's look it up.
Jack and Jenny are boy goats called Jacks?
No, Billy Goat.
Oh, Billy Goats.
I know that Jenny Goat is there is a legend of a Jenny that becomes a goat who's like a fairy type creature.
Okay.
Well, listen, sometimes Monstroco doesn't knock them out of the park, okay?
It's Jack and Jenny's are goats.
Yes.
Or donkeys, I mean.
That would explain it.
Jackass and Jenny Ass.
Yeah.
The asses.
Yeah, the Ass family. Speaking of the Ass family, how are you guys doing?
I'm doing good. I'm
How's everyone?
reading about Japan. I want to go to Japan. That seems like it would be fun.
Okay.
Live 2 weeks in Japan, really piss off the local population.
Sure, they would hate that.
Yeah. Be like some sort of evil dude. Like come in there like an anime villain, like off a little boat and go like, This is my country now.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Anyway, I want to be an anime villain. What are you guys thinking about doing?
I'm gonna become an anime villain, but it's gonna be like the Crab Man from One Punch Man, where he eats too much crab and becomes a part crab. But mine will be like Italian subs.
Ooh.
So now, I was thinking about becoming an anime villain who's sort of a protagonist, but it's Chainsaw Man.
Okay. That seems doable. Seems dope.
Yeah, I just have to,
There's already a Chainsaw Man, though. Maybe you could be like a different tool. Maybe you could be like bench press or like
Jackhammer Man,
press drill man.
Yeah, press
drill man,
press drill man.
Saber, table saw man.
You have to set it up before every combat. You're like, hold on a moment. I have to set this safety table up properly.
I gotta have glasses on. The drill press is what it's called. You could be like lathe man and twirl around real fast, and somebody chips pieces off
arms,
of you.
Yeah, my arms could become like different sort of molds.
Yeah, see? Now we're thinking outside the box.
I like it.
Hell yeah. What do we have for him this week?
Let me go first. I want to wrap up my segment for
the shrines.
The paranormal Japanese shrines.
Right. Shrines of yore.
Last week, if you remember, we talked about 2 shrines, the main one being the one that houses the haunted doll, Okiku. Okiku's hair grows.
Terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
Scary. I think it's also just been like, I'm moving myself. I'm gonna go over here now.
Yeah.
Normal Okiku stuff, but we attribute to Annabelle, to Robert the Doll shit here,
Mm-hmm.
This next temple that I'm gonna start today's segment with is, and I'm sorry to the Japanese language for everything I'm saying.
For what's about to happen.
In Nagano, we have the Zenkuji Temple.
I appreciate that you're apologizing to the language.
Yeah.
And not the people who speak it.
Fuck the language. I'm sorry for the people that speak it. I'm sorry, everyone. I'm sorry for what I'm doing to your ears.
Everyone. Everyone.
So this is the Zenkuji Temple. This temple, and I'm reading this from allabout-japan.com. Okay. The article is called
Good site. Great site.
Japan's 8 creepiest shrines and temples. From Delita Fabiani. Once again, Zenkuji Temple. This temple doesn't host any mummified remains or shrines to appease vengeful spirits.
Boo, next.
But it has its own creepy charm.
Okay.
Zenkuji Temple includes a dark room built for spiritual purposes.
For spiritual photography development.
A pitch black tunnel beneath the main temple where monks have hidden the key to paradise.
Whoa.
That you will have to find using your 5 senses and without wearing shoes. It's easy.
It's like a Home Alone situation.
It's easy. It seems like an attraction to be like, did you go find the key to paradise? The line's about 45 minutes long, but it's worth it. It's a fun experience.
And I don't mean to be gauche, but is it a glory hole at the
end? No. So it's easy to see how this symbolizes a quest for enlightenment, which can only be reached once you let go of your bodily chains and fears. It's believed that if you find the key, you don't even
have to go there.
But if you go there and find the key, you'll be granted salvation.
Not letting go of the chains. The chains are part of my identity now. People like the chains.
We have the Higashi Hoganji Temple in Kyoto. Once again, this isn't one of your mummified temples, which I believe we talked about briefly last episode. The self-mummified monks.
Yes. The mellified
have their own temple.
Not mellified.
But this temple hosts a particular object.
The mellified is honey dripped.
There's honey fellows.
The temple hosts a peculiar object that attracts tourists from all over the globe. Built on donated land in Kyoto, the Higashi Hoganji complex is one of the largest temples dedicated to one of the various branches of Shin Buddhism, the Otani-ha branch of Judo Shinsu. This wooden temple has been destroyed by fire on numerous occasions throughout its long history. When it was rebuilt in its current state in 1895, workers thought it was impossible to find a rope strong enough to move the large wooden columns necessary to create the Founders Hall, the largest wooden structure in Kyoto, and the Amida Hall, which is just a normal hall apparently.
Okay, just a hall.
But then the worshippers had
highly sought after nonetheless.
So the public is to try to destroy this thing multiple times.
Yeah.
It's got a Scandinavian goat of Christmas energy to it, to where it seems the local population wants to set it ablaze.
I see.
Which I'm learning that Yule goat, it might be something that Norwegians do to piss off this Swedish town.
Interesting.
So it might be a hate crime.
And petty. Yeah. It's fucked.
But this temple, they could not bring the large wooden wood the columns to build the foundation for everything and some of the walls. So the worshippers had a brilliant idea. Ropes were made of human hair mixed with hemp.
Oh,
and devotees from all over the world donated what they could to the cause.
Devotees.
And they built the temple built on the power of human hair.
On the power of hair. Boy, I bet that temple smelled great when it rained.
This is the hair.
Oh, no.
That is the rope made in almost entirely of human hair. The hair rope.
Oh, yeah.
That can't have.
Oh, the hair rope can't get you here. The hair rope can't get you here.
I think from this branch too, there was art in the Denver Art Museum that was a poem.
Hair art?
Written in human hair in tapestry form that was like 12 by 24 feet.
Why would that? Ugh.
I don't know, but human hair can be used for a lot.
I don't know. I don't want to know.
But now let me wrap up my two-part segment on Japanese shrines of paranormal awesomeness.
Okay.
With my number one that involves a flying head. We've talked about it a little bit.
Oh,
it's kind of a rehash. We have Tera no Masakado Kobizuka in Tokyo.
Yike.
So the Masakado ghost is probably one of the best known creepy legends surrounding Tokyo temples and shrines.
Okay.
While his story is quite fascinating, it's also long. So here is the summary. We'll have to do another deep rehash into this tale because it is awesome.
Yeah.
So Masakado, born in 1903, but definitely died in 1940.
Okay.
Was a local warlord who tried to defy the imperial authority by establishing his own independent kingdom.
I love a local warlord.
Gotta love a local warlord.
Something
or
the
else
emperor,
he'll kill you.
Something the emperor
have you put on a spike outside of the city gates.
Something the emperor clearly did not take very well, as Masakado was shot between his eyes with an arrow and decapitated.
Dang, you gotta hold so still. You basically have to let somebody. You have to be so afraid of someone that you hold still while they shoot an arrow through your eyes,
or be tied up to a pole very tight.
I guess so. Oh,
his head being used as a warning to other warlords with bright ideas.
There it is.
From here, history becomes
a warlord.
So here's where history becomes legend, as the article says. And you might remember it from a previous episode. Masakado's head starts flying from its place of display in Kyoto to look for its body, finally crashing down in Tokyo.
Oy.
And I think Kyoto to Tokyo is not a short distance.
It's a hell of a flight. Yeah.
Kyoto to Tokyo. Let's just Google that for fun information. Tokyo.
I think it might be like San Francisco to LA, actually.
I mean, still, do you think that's an easy path?
I mean, that's still
for a head to just
12
go.
Drive.
Mm-hmm.
It's 238 miles from Kyoto to Tokyo. This head flew one, I can only assume, beautiful afternoon.
Yeah. Wind blowing in its hair. Catching bees and butterflies out of the air with its tongue.
It finally crashed down in Tokyo, where it was buried in what's now known as Masakado no Kobizuka. The mound of Masakado's head is what that translates to.
That's what you're calling it, huh?
And this was done by terrified residents who apparently heard the skull screaming down and hit the ground. And they buried
Wham.
buried it as fast as they could, I can only assume.
Higgly piggly. Wow. That is fucked up.
I mean,
Fucked up.
if a skull comes crashing down, fucking put it in the dirt.
Yeah.
Now, a monument was erected to the head in 1309 after a number of disasters were blamed on the vengeful spirit. After another 600 years
of no
incidents, this is 600 years of peaceful sleep.
No screaming heads.
Masakado was disturbed in 1923 when the Ministry of Finance took the opportunity presented by the Great Kanto earthquake to do some renovations, including taking down the Masakado mound and building an office on that very spot.
Take down that mound. You there.
This isn't a time for tradition. This is a time for office.
Yes.
We need more office.
Industry.
Industry. Yeah. The country's GDP, if you learn about it in economics, is solely based on how much office there is. So they tear down the mound, build an office, fast forward a year, and 14 employees connected with the project had died.
Oh, yikes.
And many more had suffered injuries to their legs and feet.
Oh, wow. Bite marks?
It does not say. I can only assume. Eventually, the office project was discarded, and a new stone monument was built to appease the angry ghost.
Whoa, cool.
Which was still blamed for illness in the surrounding office buildings thereafter.
Okay.
If you want to visit the shrine, it's still there today. I'll bring up a picture of it. We have Tira no Masakado Kobizuka, the Mound of Masakado.
Scary. Cool. I like that there are frogs there.
Yeah, he liked frogs.
Actually,
apparently,
one's a toad, one's a frog.
Now it doesn't end there.
I like that it's not like if we were to do the head mound in America, it would be like, this is the place where the head crashed down. And there'd be like heads on spikes around it, and it would be like the head mound. Although, and this shrine is legitimately like things he would like, you know. Let's keep him appeased.
Now,
it's
if you
nice.
see,
you can go there and pray.
If you see
the
picture behind
the
me,
largest yarn head in America.
If you see the picture behind me, you see what Nate called out earlier. Yes.
There it is. There it is.
So this story involves the daughter of Masakado, Princess Takayasha, who is credited with mystic powers of her own. She can most famously be seen summoning a massive skeleton to frighten the emperor's officials in the Koyoi print, which is what's behind me.
It's a hell of a that's a good power. If you I mean, that'll get you into the X-Men, you know. If you can summon a skeleton, I think you're pretty much in.
It is a.
If you can summon a skeleton, you might just be a midnight sun.
It is an awesome tale. I want to go to Japan.
That relates to something that was off pod.
It's okay. I think it tracks.
I want to go.
Sun's in the zeitgeist.
I want to go to all these shrines, pay my respect, and just learn more about the tales of their ghost that inhabit some of these shrines. There's a Kappa shrine I skipped. Whoa. Built to appease the Kappas that so heavily populate that area.
Wow. Sweet.
Exactly. After we do the Werewolf Radar live view of movie I forgot and /enema, we go to Japan. And just do a shrine tour.
A little shrine tour, a little ST.
have some tea, eat some noodles, pass the speaking skull to whoever wants to speak next.
I'll
Who'll bring
take
the
it.
speaking skull?
Give it to me.
Take it.
So I listen to a lot of paranormal podcasts.
You do.
And I have been seeing a trend of shapeshifter reports, people telling stories about seeing a shapeshifter, particularly people shifting into cats.
What?
And this one person told a story, and they ended by saying, the only thing I can think of to explain what I saw that night was somebody doing some kind of shape-shifting work in the woods. And I was like, wow, that's crazy. And
they
long
put out
story
a little
short,
box, and that person came along.
long story short, I'm talking about Werecats.
Ooh. I like anytime I'm hearing about shapeshifters that aren't, what am I trying to say? That are stepping away from your mainstream,
You're talking shit about werewolves.
I am.
Yeah. So basically what we have here is enough information in a Wikipedia at this point where we're getting we have some good shit to talk about. So the folklore on Werecats is, as you might imagine, a little bit slimmer than that of werewolves. Werewolves are everywhere.
We know about their jumping festivals.
We know about their jumping festivals. We know about their basketball abilities. We know about them falling in love with the weird baby adult child of two vampires.
Listen, there's nothing sexual
about Jacob spawning.
Eventually,
it will be sexual.
Definition of grooming.
It definitely will be.
I did see an ad for an MTV movie based on their Teen Wolf.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I saw that trailer.
It's called Teen Wolf the Movie. As if it hasn't already come out twice.
Fuckers. All right. Okay. The folklore about werecats from around the world. European folklore usually depicts werecats as people who transform into domestic cats. Some European werecats become giant domestic cats or panthera. They are generally labeled witches, even though they may have no magical ability other than self-transformation, which again, pretty big one. That'll get you into the X-Men.
That's one of the larger ones. You're fucking a super friend at that one. You're part of the Justice League 1960s edition.
Yeah. Gleek is there. It sucks. During the witch trials, all shapeshifters, including werewolves, were considered witches, whether they were male or female. I don't know why they threw that in. But were they considered werewolves if they were werecats? Doesn't say. African legends describe were-lions, were-panthers, or were-leopards. In the case of leopards, this is often because the creature is really a leopard deity masquerading as a human. When these gods mate with humans, offspring can be produced, and these children sometimes grow up to be shapeshifters. Those who don't transform may instead have other powers. In reference to werecats who turn into lions, the ability is often associated with royalty, such a being may have been a king or queen in a former life.
Yeah, the Orishai, their children, they're powerful.
Yeah.
That just sounds awesome.
Yeah. In Africa, there are folktales that speak of the Nunda or Mungwa, a big cat of immense size that stalks villages at night. Many of these tales say it is more ferocious than a lion and more agile than a leopard. The Nunda are believed by some to be a variation of therianthrope. That today, therianthrope is kind of another word for
well, it's just any shape-shifting animal thing.
Therianthropy is the mythological ability or affliction of individuals to metamorphose into animals or hybrids by means of shape-shifting.
Awesome.
Listen to this. It is possible that cave drawings found at Les Trois Frères
Oh,
I think means the three brothers in France depict ancient beliefs in the concept or ancient therianthropes. Okay.
yeah. Werner Herzog didn't include that in his documentary.
This is a picture of a man who becomes by night a peacock. So free is he. I wish I was like you, peacock man, but I am earthbound, shackled, destined.
And he was just describing Klaus Kinski.
Destined to be eaten by me at Christmas. Where were we? The Nunda are believed by some to be a variation on the therianthrope that by day is a human, but by night becomes a werecat. No actual evidence of such creature existing has ever been documented. But in 1938, a British administrator named William Hitchens, working in Tanzania, was told by locals that a monstrous cat had been attacking people by night. Huge paw prints were found to be much larger than any known big cat, but Hitchens dismissed the case, calling it right bollocks and poppycock. Probably. Believing that's it more likely to be a lion with gigantism. God, old-timey dudes love gigantism.
I think that's the story that what is it, Ghost in the Dark?
Ghost in the Darkness.
Yeah. I think
that's what that's about.
Crazy. Cool.
It was a big lion. It was the real case of that was definitely an unusual lion that was all like, I'm the revenge manifestation for all you've done to my people.
Yeah. Beast of Gévaudan, except cat. Asia. Mainland Asian werecats usually become tigers. I don't know why I said that in slow motion. In India, the were-tiger is often a dangerous sorcerer. So kind of much like in Europe, usually a witch or a warlock practicing shape-changing magic.
Gotta practice. Gotta
portrayed
level up.
As a menace to livestock who might at any time turn to man-eating. These tales traveled through the rest of India and into Persia through travelers who encountered the Royal Bengal tigers of India and then further west.
And they just assumed that the Bengal tiger was actually a man turned into a tiger.
I mean, if I'd never seen a tiger and I saw a tiger for the first time, I would believe
you wouldn't think it was a guy that turned himself into a tiger.
No, but I would believe anything was possible.
If you didn't see one at first and you saw this creature, you'd be like, what was that? It was like a cat, but like 10 times larger.
And like the colors on it. Why was it all painted up?
And then you hear from your local guides this awesome story about how that's someone. I guess that's
man. You'd be like, yep, that sounds like what I saw.
Yeah, that's correct.
Anyway, Royal Bengal tigers of India and further west. Chinese legends often describe were-tigers as the victims of either a hereditary curse or a vindictive ghost. Alternatively, the ghosts of people who had been killed by tigers could become a malevolent supernatural being known as Chang, devoting all their energy to making sure that tigers killed more humans.
Go
on.
There's just not enough tiger attacks. I gotta up that.
You become a dead power tiger. Some of these ghosts were responsible for transforming ordinary humans into man-eating were-tigers. Also, in Japanese folklore, there are creatures called bakeneko, which we know, that are similar to kitsune, and bakedanuki, which is the tanuki or like raccoon dog spirit with the huge balls. You know what I'm talking about? In Thailand, a tiger that eats many humans may become a were-tiger. So basically, talk about leveling up. If you eat enough tigers out there listening,
one yourself.
And through the transitive property of I am what I eat, you can become part human.
Does that mean you could become a tiger if you ate enough tiger?
I think what it means is I'm more garbanzo being than human right now.
I don't like There are also other types of were-tigers, such as sorcerers with great powers who can change their form to become animals. You already said that. Nice article. Stupids. Just kidding. Great work out there. In both Indonesia and Malaysia, there is another kind of were-tiger known as the harimau jadian. In Malaysia, bajangs, hang on, harimau jadian refers to, never mind. Bajangs have been described as vampiric or demonic werecats. The Kerinci Malays of Sumatra were reputed to have the ability to transform into were-tigers. In the central area of the Indonesian island of Java, the power of transformation is regarded as due to inheritance to use the spells to fasting and willpower to the use, regarded as due to inheritance to the use of spells to fasting and willpower. Apparently, you can turn into a were-tiger if you
just through sheer force of will.
And just think about it a lot, yeah. To the use of charms, etc. Save when it is hungry or has just cause for revenge, it is not hostile to man. So it seems to be nice unless it owes you one. In fact, it is said to take its animal form only at night and to guard the plantations from wild pigs. Interesting. That sounds like a fucking fun life to live. Variants of this belief assert that the shapeshifter does not recognize his friends unless they call him by name, or that he goes out as a mendicant. I don't know what that means. And transforms himself to take vengeance on those who refuse him alms. Somewhat similar is the belief of the Khans. For them, the tiger is friendly, and he reserves his wrath for their enemies. A man is said to take the form of a tiger in order to wreak a just vengeance. I want to watch that movie so bad.
Tiger Man,
Just Vengeance. Central Asia, Indonesian island of Java. 2004. The Americas. The foremost were animal in pre-Columbian Mesoamerican cultures was the were-jaguar. Jaguar. How I say it now. It was associated with the veneration of the jaguar, with priests and shamans among the various peoples who followed this tradition wearing the skins of jaguars to become were-jaguar. Among the Aztecs, an entire class of specialized warriors who dressed in the jaguar skins were called jaguar warriors or jaguar knights. Depictions of the jaguar and the were-jaguar are among the most common motifs among the artifacts of the ancient Mesoamerican civilizations. Cool.
Yeah, that jaguar
sounds like a weird betting site that would come up anytime I Google it.
Sure.
Those jaguar knights are like the berserkers, to where just I wouldn't want to face either one.
Yeah, they had like crazy
in a war. One's dressed like bears, the other one's dressed like a jaguar. They're coming at you with just like the sharpest wooden weapons,
the sharpest crazy spears.
Well, they'd be obsidian tipped.
Yeah, obsidian. Yeah, just slicing through you. That shit was sharp. We used to use it for surgical equipment until like what, 1950, when we invented a new metal.
That's right.
No,
still
1990s,
do if you're in the right place.
When new metal was invented.
Yeah, new metal. When new metal came around. N.W. Thomas wrote in the 11th edition of the Cyclopedia Britannica, 1911, that according to Carl Friedrich Philipp von Martius, the Kanaima was a human being who employed poison to carry out his function of blood avenger, and that other authorities represent the Kanaima as a jaguar, which was either an avenger of blood or the familiar of a cannibalistic sorcerer. Wow. He also mentioned that in 1911, some Europeans in Brazil believed that the seventh child of the same sex in unbroken succession becomes a were-man or woman and takes the form of a horse, goat, jaguar, or pig. Oh, boy.
Yeah, I believe that.
Jaguar.
That's like a...
Come on, jaguar.
That's like
real roulette, yeah.
That's like a 13th child situation.
Yeah.
To be like, that one's going to be a demon. You know that one's going to be a werecat.
Mm-hmm.
Don't go to 7.
Yeah. In the U.S., urban legends tell of encounters with feline bipeds being similar to the Bigfoot, having cat heads, tails, and paws. Feline bipeds are sometimes classified as part of cryptozoology, but they are more often interpreted as werecats. Assertions that werecats truly exist and have an origin in supernatural or religious realities have been common for centuries, with these beliefs often being hard to separate entirely from folklore. In the 19th century, occultist J.C. Street asserted that material cat and dog transformations could be produced by manipulating, quote unquote, ethereal fluid that human bodies are supposedly floating in.
Like right now?
Yeah.
You know, like cosmic cum.
Cosmic cum. Yeah, we're floating in the cosmic cum. And you just got to twist it, man, like Neo into cat form.
There is no cum.
Exactly. You can't bend the cum bends you. Or whatever the fuck that happens with this.
Yeah. The Catholic witch hunting manual, Malus Maleficarium, asserted that witches could turn into cats, but that their transformations are illusions created by demons. New Age author John Perkins asserted that every person has the ability to shapeshift into jaguars, bushes, or any other form.
I want to change it to a bush.
Bush.
What shrub
your
would
two
you
options.
be?
Where bush?
I would be a huckleberry bush.
I think, I mean, something fruit bearing sounds fun, but maybe it hurts.
Raspberries.
Maybe it hurts to get them
nearby.
plucked. Ow, my berries. I'll be blackberry bush because they're thorny. People can try to take my berries, but they're gonna get scratched up.
Maybe just an angry man's hedge.
How about an angry man's hedge, topiary sculpted to look like an angry man's head?
Could you imagine that? And then you're doing it every night. And then in the morning, of course, you have your job that you got to go to, and your neighbors are all like, didn't they have a hedge?
Yeah.
Oh,
there
I have
last
to
night? Where'd it
experience
go?
time?
Yeah.
Occultist Rosalind Green.
Because you can become a hedge, Nate.
Occultist Rosalind Green claims that werecats called cat shifters exist as part of the shifter subculture or underground New Age religion based on lycanthropy and related beliefs. Rosalind Green, we have to look into your research.
Yes, we do.
You're on to
Tell
some good ideas
about the cat religion. And that does it for werecats around the world. What I do have remaining, if we have time for it, and I don't know that we do, is actual.
Or not. I mean, yeah, sure.
I have an actual account from a Welsh magician, magic user, craft elder, pagan and craft elder.
Yeah.
You could have led with that.
So we're going to read about sort of a hedge witch, and this is his own first account of some shape-shifting work that he does. As a pagan and craft elder, Welsh tradition, I've participated in shape-shifting with my brother and sister coven members for several decades. In these situations, we worked on deity-empowered, deep trance-induced shape-shifting, so moving the cosmic cum, focusing on an agreed-upon appropriate animal. No inappropriate animals this time, Augustus. None of your penis dolphins. The titty shark.
Only real animals.
Often at Samhain. Years later, I continued my fascination with shapeshifting with another coven, but felt it was not enough. During a rough time, a wolf spirit began to show up in my meditations with offers of help and mentoring. So I began to really research shapeshifting and especially wolfish shifting while digging into the history of shapeshifting. I was surprised to discover the prevalence of werewolf shapeshifting witches and covens in the Middle Ages, as described in hundreds of documents and cited in my book, Werewolf Magic.
Wait, are you citing yourself like you're fucking Greenberg, the linguist? Get out of here, sir.
Today,
although I will be looking up werewolf magic.
Today, few covens seem to do shapeshifting and or tend to view it as more of a quote-unquote visualization exercise, which is not as serious as shapeshifting is at all, which is not what serious shapeshifting is at all. Yeah, we're talking jaguars. We're talking titty sharks. We're talking bushes.
Werebush. I'm into that as a new horizon to research.
Through practical experimentation, as well as info from the various books of shadow I own.
Oh, the books of shadow on the shadow bookcase.
I revived a powerful and effective method of shapeshifting for witches and pagans using the power of feral gods or goddesses.
Nice. That sounds dangerous as fuck.
Here is an outline of this technique.
Feral gods, like Cthulhian horror shit. Like, you don't know what's going in the mind of a feral god.
Yeah, we just so you know, we're not telling anybody to do this. We're not professionals, but here's an outline of this technique.
Definitely do not.
Invoking shifting involves ritually calling to an external divinity and bringing it into your spiritual and physical self in order to facilitate shapeshifting. There are two parts of quote-unquote invoking shapeshifting. The first concerns invoking deities who help with the shifting, such as Faunus, Sauronus, or Hecate, through offerings, prayers, and serious ritual. For example, Faunus, the Roman Pan, was invoked during Lupercalia by the Lupercal, or wolf priests, who, after shapeshifting, became possessed by the wolfish god and wildly ran his drunken fertility festival.
Nice.
Which, by the way, is Valentine's Day, so we're in the vicinity.
I'm upset that there's not more orgies in our society. We really lost the way, you know, all these people trying to get back to tradition and they're forgetting about the orgies.
Oh, there's orgies.
No, I meant like that's what we do this holiday.
Oh, you mean like a public orgy at the, at the orgitorium?
Yeah, like what we're talking about here, to where like, well, it's orgy day.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah.
My condom is wine once again.
Became possessed by the wolfish god, drunken fertility festival. Such divinity-powered shifting has been around for thousands of years. Another shape-shifting technique concerns invoking your astral body with the power of the deity and your will. Yet instead of astral projection, you envelop your body in the empowered astral form by will, by invoking the deity intensely into the form of an animal connected to the deity you are calling, be it an owl, wolf, hare, goat, eagle, cat, or so on. Hecate helps bring the owl or hound of wolf shifting. Cernunnos aids shifting into a stag, and so on. Ooh. You can power up your astral body in this way by inflaming the fire center located in your lower belly. If your fire center is inflamed, you need to get that looked at. My uncle had an inflamed fire center. Caught the cinema on fire.
Ruined the movie.
He let it go. Burn the pavilions down. It is located in your solar plexus or Manipura chakra. This fills and solidifies the astral form you are seeking and enhances the blessing of the deity summoned. In this way, the sheer physicality of the animal body can be empowered and ridden with fucking heart belly fire, man.
Nice.
That's what powers the transformation.
Anyway,
There
we're
is
not
more to
suggesting
say,
you do this, but we
but
will
as
say
a pagan
nice.
or witch, you can fill in the rest. Happy shape-shifting. And that is from a poster on llewellyn.com
The internet is a wonderful place.
named Anna.
You know what? I am endorsing it.
You're telling them to do it?
Yes. These aren't feral gods.
No, they're not feral gods at all.
I think maybe feral was the wrong word.
They meant pagan gods.
Yeah. And that does it for Jordan's new segment, Shift Happens.
Nice.
Where I explore shifters and their ability to shift. And shape shift.
That's a good segment premise.
Thank you.
We're keeping it. You're locked in on it. That's what you do now.
Heck yeah.
There's also a pretty excellent cat shifting in the Vatnsdal saga. If you want to read the Icelandic sagas, where a man turns into a giant ass cat.
So get into them Icelandic sagas, learn about the genealogy of the Icelandic kings.
Yeah, the first many pages.
Is it called Der Skjöldekottur?
Slowly saying where they're from. What I have is some UFO stuff from 14 Times.
Ooh.
Okay.
That's what we're talking about on the news. Get ready for it on Friday. But what's this new? What's this UFO hubbub?
There's a hubbub.
Since 2021, Connecticut seems to have been experiencing something of a UFO flap, with a steady flow of reports from the state being made to the U.S. National UFO Reporting Center, or NUFORC.
Awful.
While one sighting was clearly a partly deflated weather balloon and others are likely to be attributable to misperceived drones or Starlink satellites, there have been more than a few reports that are less easily explained. These include a bright, slightly bluish, quote, ball of light with rope-like appendages hanging, end quote, which seems insane. Seen over Naugatuck on January 6th, 2021, which sounds like it could be ball lightning. But it was followed.
Appendages.
Yeah, I mean,
or like maybe a balloon that escaped.
Possibly, but if they've already looked into a different balloon, and this thing was
sure.
And even then, I've been thinking a lot about E equals MC squared, you know?
You think it's bullshit?
No, I think it's very legit. And I think there's a close relation to energy and matter. And perhaps that's a full craft. Like that ball of lightning is a full fucking craft.
Oh, I thought you said crap. That's a full crap.
Someone's pooping pure energy in our atmosphere.
Someone somewhere is puping. Someone doing a pupe.
No, but what I'm suggesting, I guess,
from the sixth dimension.
Yeah, basically the sixth dimension, their matter is more energy based. So like that's a full fucking ship with crew. The dangling lights could be like an electrical landing system.
Yeah.
It's possible.
Crazy. Sure. I'm in.
It was followed a short time later by an exceptionally large and loud helicopter. While in Weston the day before, a local saw a large, bright white teardrop-shaped object with a neon green interior cross the road in front of them around 5:30 p.m.
So like windows, like they could see inside. Interior is what you said.
Well, no, it moved across the road.
Oh, I thought you said it had a green interior.
Yeah, well, they could see inside of it.
And that blows my mind.
Cherry green interior.
I like the stories of when it's just, even if it's just nothing, to where like we saw inside this object.
Yeah, that always
and its
blows my mind.
interior is green.
There have also been numerous reports of fireballs. One was described as a bright orange glowing object that resembled an intense sunrise as it moved steadily and horizontally across the sky at a time when no meteors had been reported, while others were said to have moved with intent and intelligence. The state has several multiple anomaly detection and automated recording, aka MADAR. Nodes.
Madar.
Devices triggered by rapid barometric and electromagnetic changes in the atmosphere that are believed by some to be the signature of UFO activity. And on October 9th, 2022, the manager of one of them was alerted to something nearby. The New Fork report says, at first, the only thing that he saw was a few planes flying by. And as he was looking through his binoculars at one of the planes, he spotted a small, round, black object descending from the clouds above the plane and ascending back up. He repeated this maneuver twice, as if trying to stay concealed in the clouds. Tic Tacs and at least one classic cigar-shaped object have been reported too, as well as several encounters with entities. On September 8th, 2021, a witness in Oxford, Connecticut, saw 3 bright but silent objects hovering up for about 30 to 40 seconds, followed by a bright flash, almost like the light was scanning from front to back, but the light was intense, almost as bright as a spotlight on a helicopter.
Still sounds like a scan. I think it's got to be very bright regardless. You're trying to get into your pores, trying to find out what's inside.
Yeah.
You need a bright light.
Just scan right down in there, down to the bone.
Quote, then I was able to see something or someone lowered out of one of the craft into the field across the street, then quickly go back up into the craft. Shortly after, the 3 bright lights flashed and disappeared, but I could see the light trails behind them and still without making any noise. The UFO apparently also had an aura or haze and emitted beams.
I mean, it's got to have beams. Otherwise, how would it stay afloat? Got to have those beams.
The beams, I assume, other than like what Jordan is proposing, an anti-gravitational engine, is like a scan, right? It's like just shooting around, gathering information for various sensors.
Sure. Could be a beam scan. The old beam scan.
I mean, that's a jump from having beams to being anti-grav, but
nope, it's those two.
However, the most baffling entity sighting does not have any apparent connection to a UFO. On August 3rd, 2022, at 10:45 a.m. in broad daylight, an Oxford, Connecticut resident saw something that sounds closer to Groot from Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy than anything else. The witness's New Fork report reads, quote, I own 14 acres of woods and am surrounded by many more. I was driven down my driveway when a bipedal creature about 4 feet tall and about as wide as my thigh ran out of the woods to my left across my driveway. Oh, it's fully a gnome.
A thin gnome now, but a gnome.
Well, I mean, how big around is he supposed to be if he's 4 feet tall?
4 feet tall, gnomes.
And as wide as the thigh.
I think
I guess that is thin.
Which is
4 foot
not-
tall is quite tall, I suppose. A boat.
Ran out of the woods to my left, across my driveway, and into the woods yard of the property on the right. It was about 10 yards away. It looked like a tree on legs with small arms, no visible curves, hips or shoulders, just straight.
Stick Indian.
Stick man.
Remember
Stick
Stick
man.
Indians?
Ooh, barely.
Yes.
It was just I did a segment on them a little while ago. They're like a Native American myth about they look like sticks and they whistle to try to get you lost in the woods, and they walk backwards and maybe eat people.
But people are delicious. We don't look down on it. Cannibals, enjoy yourselves.
No, no, don't. Stop what you're doing. Seek help.
This does sound very, very similar.
Seek out.
No visible curves, hips or shoulders, just straight. It was brown, skinny, no fur or hair, lightning fast, and light as a feather. Which, I mean, he didn't catch it. He doesn't know. It could be crazy heavy.
This is true. Get him. Drag him.
But I think you get a good sense of like how people move when they interact, especially in the forest.
No, he's dead to us. Fuck him.
Okay, he's
liar.
dead to us. Never mind. He's not looking at the imprints.
Yeah.
Almost looked like it wasn't even touching the ground. Didn't hear a sound from it running, and all the birds and other animals were dead silent.
Cowards.
Which is also some UFO shit.
That is true. That is true.
When it ran, it didn't prance like most animals or run like a human. It's like, which, I mean, do animals prance?
Some of them, I guess.
They do. Your deers will prance, your horses will prance.
No, my deer.
If you see a bear prance, get out of the area.
He is on cocaine like that movie.
This one's real strange. Its legs were moving as if you were pedaling a bicycle.
Weird.
I saw the back and a bit of the right side of it. It's
so strange.
Running like a cartoon.
It's very weird. Very weird.
I didn't see the front or a face. I didn't see a tail, ears, or any other body parts a normal animal or human would have. About 2 months ago, I was outside around 10 p.m., and there were 2 owls hooting back and forth. Then I heard that god-awful screeching sound. Wasn't a fisher cat or screech owl. I have no idea if that was related or not. I don't know if it was for sure an alien, but I don't know what else it could be. I did not see any craft or anything, although I wasn't going to walk through the woods to look either.
Fuck that.
UFO, alien, good thinking, but it could also be some sort of wood nymph, wood elf, fairy person.
This is true. You could be dealing with some sort of forest spirit, some sort of Groot, perhaps.
Like you said earlier in that segment, yeah, this sounds like more of a tree person.
Mm-hmm. A Trent.
Thank you.
An Ent.
And they close by saying, in its appearance and behavior, it sounds more like a type of fairy or a stick man.
Yeah, Jordan nailing it.
Entity than an alien, but whatever it was, something strange has definitely been going on in Connecticut.
This is a lot for that state to be having, I feel.
In Connecticut.
When I think of Connecticut, I think of, for whatever reason, bad maple syrup.
Bad maple syrup.
It's not
Shots
Vermont
fired.
maple syrup.
Oof, take that. You've chosen
I'm a
side.
Vermont man. But anyway, a lot of woods, a lot of normal, like yuppie liberal nonsense, nothing too wild or extreme. A relatively good punk scene, but not UFOs like this.
Yeah. Well, believe it, Jack.
That's me believing it. It absorbed into me.
Jack.
Well, which brings us to the Connecticut Insider, examining some of Connecticut's most spectacular UFO sightings.
Oh, there's more.
There's
Because,
more.
believe it or not, apparently it's a massive UFO hotspot.
That makes sense to me.
This first one is the Westchester Boomerang. In the late 1640s, a phantom ship was seen sailing in the skies off the shore of New Haven. And since 1947, when the term UFO entered the lexicon, Connecticut has its fare of flying saucers, strange lights, and objects falling from the heavens. In the early 1980s, particularly in 1983 and 84, people reported hundreds of UFOs in the skies above Connecticut. The sightings primarily took place in Fairfield County and were most frequent in western Connecticut towns near the New York border, such as Danbury, New Fairfield, and Ridgefield. Old Fairfield, I guess, sucks. Over the border in Westchester and the Hudson Valley, sightings were equally common. The New York Times reported in August 84, throughout northern Westchester County, Dutchess and Putnam counties in western Connecticut this summer, thousands of residents, have reported strange objects in the sky, each usually in a V shape or a circle about the size of a football field, absolutely noiseless and outlined in brilliant lights of white, red, or green.
Fucking crazy.
Fucking crazy.
Here's another fun one. The green whale of Bantam Lake.
Ooh, okay.
Go on.
Go on.
In the early morning hours of April 10th, 2012, an unidentified motorist called State Police Barracks to report a whale-sized glowing green object falling into Bantam Lake. The motorist, who has never been identified, likely would have been dismissed as a prankster or magic mushroom consumer.
Yeah.
But they're saying
they're shrooming out.
Yeah, mushrooms fuddling the waters of UFO research.
They're freaking out. They're flying through the keyhole on a magic broom.
Had an on-duty state trooper about 10 miles away in Warren not also called the station to report seeing a large object fall from the sky over Bantam or Morris?
Absurd. So it definitely happened. Two different sources. Is it the aliens? My thought goes to, is the alien trying to populate the lake with space whale?
I mean, I don't know why they call it a whale.
Whale size object.
It just seems to be like maybe a meteor fell.
I like how in Connecticut,
you weren't there, man.
In Connecticut, whale size is such a common term. Everyone knows what size they're talking about.
Like the size of a whale, probably. Like whale size, Like the size of like a regular whale, Like a whale.
I'm not saying a blue whale, just a regular whale, humpback.
No. Clear it out on this. The great airship sightings. Above Willimantic, in the early morning hours of January 7th, 1910, John H. Gray, an opera house manager, and John Manley, a policeman, saw emerging out of the black, starless sky something that resembled a chain of electric lights hitched together with a strand of fire.
Fucking what? Well, that does sound like maybe like. Go on.
Gray estimated the lights, which seemed to hover, were about 50 feet long. They could have been some type of comet, he said, or an airship stopped for repairs. From December 1909 to January 1910, people across Connecticut and other parts of New England reported seeing a mysterious airship with similar characteristics.
Crazy.
They believed it was a revolutionary new aircraft created by a Massachusetts businessman.
Wow.
What's that Massachusetts businessman been up to? Oh, that's his thing.
That's him. Oh, he does the airship.
That
Crazy.
flaming airship in the sky. That's this Massachusetts man.
Okay. The Massachusettsian.
Which it might actually have been. There were people who created airships before the Wright brothers.
Yeah, but Massachusetts?
They flew them around.
But that was nothing more than a hot air balloon.
Oh, no. It's much more. It's like the fucking it's some sort of hydrogen balloon ship.
Ooh.
It's Rocketeer stuff.
Hydroballon.
Anyway, that's what's been going on in Connecticut for the last 200 and something years.
Wow. Okay. Well, is there anything else that we need to talk about, or does that do it for another episode of Werewolf Radar?
I think that does it for another episode of Werewolf Radar.
I think
we
that
can
does
talk about
it.
the curse next week.
For another episode of Werewolf Radar next week, I'll probably be in a different location altogether.
Ooh.
But thank you for your continued support of our show. Y'all are the best. Shout out to our Patreon members kicking in the Zoom room.
We got to do a patron call out.
Oh, shit.
It's the end of the month.
It is the time.
As you know, at the end of every month, we do a Dark Council member howl out for everyone who is a Patreon member, patreon.com/werewolf radar. Starting from the bottom, we have Valerie Scott, Tobias Livingston, Nick Bailey, Fabric, Tattoos, Embroidery. A lot of new ones at the bottom. Body Storytelling, Michael King, Jason Wardell, Gloria Gray, Phil Corridor, Joseph Sterry, Janet Bravo, Dylan Gutierrez, Bob Ryan, AWOL51, Amanda, Tobias Livingston, the most well-prepared dead guy. Randy Washington, or the Twerk Serpent. I realize this might be just a collective list of everyone we've ever had. Mr. Wolf, Marcella Duran, Lee Southwell, Kyle Burtman, Joey Lamb Chops, Jason Sweet, Hannah Taylor, Gloria Gray, Elliot Broder, Alicia Coy, Cheesebot O'Doom, Adam Passion, Abby Claboo, Ryan Flint, Richard Carter, Liam Dahl, Jessica, Jason Sweet, Jake Specht, Akurian Soldier, Dean Malik, Dakota Vincent, Brian Ely, Adric Hinkle, Scott Farr, and our Chancellor of Madness, who's still with us, leading the charge, Michael Prazak. Yeah, they changed Patreon's dashboard, and now things are different, but that is just a thank you for all the years of support you've given us.
Who's ever supported us.
Yes.
You did it.
Stay safe out there. You got us
if
here.
If you would like to become a patron and have us howl at you, you could go to patreon.com/werewolf radar. Check out what we have to offer there. There's a bunch of additional content, merch, and some really cool shit that you can check out. If you can't afford to help us out financially, you can always give us 5 stars wherever 5 stars are given. Spotify, iTunes, any of that shiz. You can check us out on Twitch Mondays, 4 p.m. Mountain Time. We're usually playing D&D over there, or sometimes other stuff. Probably not this week though. But Raj, are you gonna be on there playing?
I'll be on there. If not this week, I'll be doing some probably Dark Tide.
Ooh.
You know, I'm still enjoying the game. I like the grind. I just like that Left 4 Dead combat, to where I'm in this perilous situation and I gotta shoot my way out.
I see. I understand. The desire for combat.
My desire for combat.
On that note, I think we have to go fight our own demons. Until next time, on the count of 3, our sign-off line: 1, 2, 3. Punch the sky!
Spaceman Joe. Thank you, Cheezo Doom.